Hello everyone, or should I say, konnichiwa minasan. Today we will all learn about how to not give a fuck, like your favorite anime characters. Instead of just talking about how to not give a fuck and giving you the usual tips and tricks in front of the camera, I thought it would be more interesting to make a comparisons to some anime characters who exhibit this ability of not giving a fuck. This video was actually inspired by the book The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, so some of you might find the points rather familiar. I'll be sharing 3 lessons that we can learn from these 3 anime characters that we can apply in our daily lives. There might be some spoilers from the anime along the way, so don't continue this video if you plan on watching the anime. Contrary to the title, the book is actually teaching you how to care about the things that matter and choosing what to care about, and hopefully after this video, you will be able to learn a thing or two. The first advice is to stop caring about people who don't matter. The best example for this point is Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. Luffy is basically this boy with like rubber powers who aims to be the pirate king, and hence he is seen as a bad guy from the general public's point of view. He is constantly chased down by marines who are basically like the police in the sea for causing trouble at many different places, and basically just because he's a pirate. If you watch the anime, you'll know that Luffy has quite an eccentric personality, and he doesn't really care about the opinions and judgments about people that don't really matter to him. He just does whatever he needs to do and whatever he can in order to achieve his dreams of becoming a pirate king. In life, we have hopes and dreams, but sometimes we don't dare to take the first step to pursue them because we are afraid of what others might think of us. This all draws down to something called the spotlight effect, and you can learn more about it from the NASTI Dynasti video on social anxiety. Even though it is damn difficult to stop ourselves from being concerned about what others might think of us, we still have to do our best to reduce the spotlight effect so that we can pursue our dreams like Luffy without giving a damn about the people who we actually don't give a damn about. Throughout the freaking 1000 chapters of One Piece, Luffy meets people that matter to him and recruits them into his pirate crew. Each of his crewmates have their own problems and reasons of why they cannot join the crew, and Luffy tries his best to help them to resolve their problems, even if it means putting himself at risk. This shows that Luffy chooses the people that he wishes to care about, and he puts in his 100% to protect them and improve their relationship. Usually, Luffy doesn't really care about anything other than food and parties, but whenever there is a problem regarding his dreams or his friends and family, he will definitely resolve the problem regardless of how much effort it takes, in order to not sacrifice what is important to him. So other than not giving a fuck about the people who don't matter, you need to give a fuck about the people who matter in your life. These people will be the ones who motivate you to pursue your dreams, and the ones who help you out whenever you fall, so make sure to keep them well. So I guess we can learn from Luffy that it doesn't matter which stage of life you are in. Don't let the people that you don't care about bring you down. It really isn't a matter of just physically avoiding them, but rather just not regarding them as important at all, such that you won't be affected by the things that they say or do to you. Also, you need to choose people to care about and keep them. You will eventually find out that you really don't need those who don't add value in your life around you. The second advice is to stop caring about situations that you cannot change. The first anime character that came to my mind for this was Asta from Black Clover. In a world where your worth was determined by your magic abilities, Asta was born with no magic powers. However, his dream was to become the Sorcerer Emperor, even though it seemed almost impossible. Asta understood that he was at a disadvantage compared to the general population. Instead of blaming his own misfortune and fate, he chooses to try to change his current situation as much as he can. Asta endured harsh physical training every single day to improve his physical capabilities, and at the start of the story, he came into possession with the power to summon an anti-magic sword. This anti-magic sword was extremely heavy, and Asta was the only one able to carry it because of the hard work he put into his physique and fitness every single day. What we can learn from Asta is to not only not care about what you cannot change, but to actually put in the effort to change the things that you can change, one step at a time. As long as it can help you get closer to your goal or solve a problem, it doesn't hurt putting in time and effort to change the things that you want to change. Also, do you notice how Asta is always put into situations that he was not supposed to be put in? For example, from exploring a supposedly easy dungeon to fighting a dual elemental mage, and even from going for a celebratory meal to getting kidnapped by evil villains. Sometimes we end up in situations that we cannot change, and unexpected things happen to us. Instead of wondering why are we here and thinking of the constant possibilities of how we aren't supposed to be there, we can spend the time thinking of what we are going to do in the present to change the situation that we are put in. We don't need to compare our situations to others, but instead, just deal with our own situations as much as we can to make the most out of it. So for this component, remember to stop caring about the situations that you cannot change, but that doesn't mean that you completely give up on yourself. Instead, take baby steps to do whatever you can to achieve your aspirations. And just like Asta, you never know, when an opportunity comes your way, you'll be ready to take it up. The third advice is to stop caring about who is at fault. A perfect example would be Subaru from ReZero. he experienced the endless possibilities of his own death and witnessed countless deaths of his friends as well. At the start of the season, Subaru was someone who often blamed others for his suffering and the death of the people around him. Because of that, he experienced a lot of trauma and even had moments where he just didn't want to do anything, but would still end up dying. Every time he comes back to life, he keeps thinking about the countless what-ifs and how everyone around him was at fault for the situation that he was in. As the season progresses, we start to see Subaru grow as a person as he starts to take responsibilities for the different things that happen because they were actually in his power to change. Occasionally, we will have bad experiences that happen to us. It can range from not getting into the school of your dreams to being caught in an accident. However, regardless of who you blame and how much you blame them, nothing good will come out of it. The only step that you can take is to work hard now to achieve your end goal, regardless of whatever means it costs you. Subaru failed countless of times. However, after failing every single time, he started to grow as a person and realized that he was responsible for his own fate and whatever happens to him. What might seem easy to you might not seem easy to others. Some of these struggles will cast upon us without our control, and we can spend the rest of our lives blaming our family members, friends, or even strangers for causing us to be in the state that we are in. But I guess another possibility is to stand strong and do whatever you can to fight against the problem and spend time taking responsibility rather than waiting for whoever is at fault to take the responsibility. To sum things up, the subtle art of not giving a fuck is all about not giving a fuck about the things that you cannot change and the people that really don't matter in your lives. Instead, use that energy to learn from your experiences and not make the same mistakes, and care about the things that you can change and the people that you care about. With that, I will see you in the next video. Always remember, stay nasty.